Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I want to do a Jean Grey Phoenix review, but a little bit separately from the other reviews that we've done on characters. I want to do this one more as a perspective of how powerful she could be. Because I have not yet fully geared the character, I haven't maxed out her gears, I haven't given her Uru, I haven't tried her yet extensively and exhaustively in different game modes, I feel uncomfortable labeling this as a review video because it's not technically as robust as some of my other review videos. However, I think I have a pretty solid opinion about Jean Grey and where she stands both in the meta and in your perceived priority of how soon or late you should obtain her, because I see the community speaking a lot about Jean Grey. I see a lot of players asking to see gameplay of hers, asking me what kind of ISO sets and obelisks she needs, and really trying to theory craft ahead of time, thinking that Jean Grey is the next Dormammu, is the next Odin, is the next Doctor Strange. And while she may simultaneously be all of those things, in a way she's none of those things. So that's why we framed this one as a how powerful is Jean Grey. Additionally, guys, I want to let you know that I'm trying out a recording today on a different setup entirely. So if you find that the audio is a bit off on my end or on the game's end, if you find that the colors or the gameplay itself looks a little bit different, let me know in the comment section, but please be technical about it, be specific, don't just say it looks good, it looks bad, and I will take your feedback into consideration because I really appreciate it. Let's jump right into the character. What makes Jean Grey so powerful? Well, aside from the tears that she causes from the noobs when they realize they need a shit ton of feathers and gold and Emkron crystals, etc. to get her, she's actually a very interesting character, the way they built her, specifically in her skill set. So we'll start first with her first skill, which is just Firebird. It's a very basic skill, and then from the rest on, it gets pretty intense. Phoenix Embrace has a time freeze effect, so we can see the Doctor Strange-esque skill coming out. It's only 2 seconds instead of 4, but it's on a 12-second cooldown, so this will proc every 6 seconds if you prioritize this skill. Works against world bosses, basically functions exactly the same way as Doctor Strange's time freeze. It just lasts for 2 seconds less. Then we have Bonds of Destiny, one of the most text-heavy motorcycles in the game. It applies heavy all resistances and all defense down to the team, so the enemies become super susceptible to damage. It gives Jean Grey and her allies super armor, which is also immune to guard break or guard break immunity, and all defense. It gives everyone on the team a guard hit, which goes up to, I believe, 3 or 4 when you rank this up if you have enough gold. And then it also gives her a heal, and the heal is proportionate to how much damage she takes. So if you pop this but you don't get popped, you might see really small numbers like 300 HP. Don't worry, nothing's wrong with the skill, you're just not taking any damage. So it's almost like an intuitive heal. The more damage you're taking, the more Jean Grey is going to heal back. If you're not taking much damage, she's not going to heal for very much. This can be a more dangerous heal if you're already very low on HP, because obviously you can't take a big hit, so you may have to be a bit tactful with this skill, but don't worry if you make a mistake, because she revives at full health, just like Dormammu. Then her fourth skill, Phoenix Descent, is a huge iframe skill, specifically painful to deal with in PvP, kind of like Dormammu's skill. Dormammu transforms into a giant floating head. Jean Grey transforms into a giant flying phoenix. And it also has a bind, if that wasn't bad enough. And then her fifth skill, Phoenix Awaken, is probably one of her most powerful. It summons a bunch of fire spin tornadoes. It gives her an all attack, all speed crit rate buff, which is huge, by the way. And it also gives her a chance to pierce super armor, barriers, shield, immunity, and invincibility. So basically, when she casts this skill, no character in the game is safe with any kind of defense except iframes or healing. So if you can out-heal the damage, which very few characters can do, you're in luck. Otherwise, you need to iframe when this skill happens and when her other skills happen, because that pierce lasts for 10 seconds and longer when you upgrade the skill. Otherwise, she's going to basically one-shot you. In addition, the tornadoes that she summons will persist longer than the skill animation for her. So she can go into other skills while the tornadoes from Phoenix Awaken keep spinning. And if she dies, the tornadoes will still keep spinning. I've actually killed enemy Dormammus or enemy Wolverines while this skill was still running after my Jean Grey had fallen in battle and was waiting to be revived. So insane skill. Then her leadership has basically the debuff effect that's so popular right now because of Doctor Strange. It's the same rate as Odin's, except it doesn't have the all resistance up, but it has the debuff, and it's on a short cooldown of just 20 seconds. So there's only an 8-second window, if she's not iframing or killing you or reviving, that you can actually, stun her, freeze her, do something to, subdue the Phoenix before she obliterates you. So as you guys can see, her skills are insane. She obviously has a combination of skills that we've not come to expect and know from the likes of Doctor Strange, Odin, and Dormammu, and that's why I brought them up at the beginning of the video, because it seems like she is the kind of trifecta. She's the perfect triforce of destiny, wisdom, and strength. However, the con is Jean Grey doesn't fit anywhere in the game right now. Jean Grey doesn't address any current needs that we have as a player base. The most important game mode that she could possibly fit into or be at the top of is World Boss Ultimate. And if you haven't played World Boss Ultimate, the rewards aren't very good. The bragging rights are great. The leaderboard is fun to be on. Shout out to Proxima. But other than that, it's really not a high-end game mode. Nobody comes into the game and gears characters and aims specifically for World Boss Ultimate. It's kind of a sideshow. The main attractions are Shadowland, World Boss, and Extreme Alliance Battle, and then secondarily Alliance Tournament and Alliance Conquest. Yes, Jean Grey is going to be fantastic in those last two, because I personally believe that she is the ultimate PvP monster, but I think the majority of the player base is looking at Jean Grey and expecting her to be needed somewhere in a PvP, or PvE, excuse me, game mode. She's going to be needed for World Boss or this other game mode, and frankly, she's not. It's already super saturated, and Jean Grey is just another bazooka in a long line of bazookas. You've already got all of the Rambo equipment. This is just another, Karambit knife to add to your collection. But let's jump into the gears just to see what else we're working with. Keep in mind, I don't have everything maxed out yet. Obviously, I'm missing a very important resource. Energy attack and crowd control time, excellent to have on a gear. All defense crit damage, also excellent. Crit rate, attack speed, pretty good. Crowd control time again, that's twice. And ignore defense. So she's got everything except skill cooldown and HP. Those are the two biggies. HP is actually more important for her because of that heal on her third skill, Bonds of, or Destiny Bond, or Bonds of Destiny. And the heal is very important because she revives. So the more HP she has, it kind of just snowballs and adds to her effectiveness overall. Her gear is good. You're going to want to roll the first three as we've discussed previously for characters with all attack or energy attack physical. In her case, it's energy, all defense, energy defense by level, and then HP per level, HP. The last gear is going to be probably a combination of ignore defense and skill cooldown, whatever you need more of. As far as the Uru, I would give her 2 energy attack Urus. I would absolutely give her 2 HP Urus because, again, she's not going to overtake Sharon Rogers or Doctor Strange, those types, for the no restriction day. There is no blast female day, so she's not going to need crit rate or crit damage to boost her overall DPS. So you can go with the safe bet, go with HP, make her even more of a tank, and then that 5th slot for the Uru, you can give her either skill cooldown or ignore defense if you want. As far as the Obelisks go, again, because she's not an ABX, because she's not needed for burst damage game modes, you can go ahead and give her an invincibility Obelisk to make her an absolute headache. Not only is she going to become invincible and probably heal back up most of her HP that she lost, but then even if you manage to kill her, you gotta do it all over again. This is the ultimate PvP troll. Additionally, you want to hit her with something like fire damage and immunity to guard break. That would be perfect. She does have the weakness of getting guard broken on her 5th and 3rd skills because there is a bit of a wind up, so she is vulnerable there, but her other animations are super snappy, or they include iframes, so there isn't a lot of opportunity to, damage her, so she doesn't actually have that many weaknesses. Invincibility and fire damage is a great start. You could also opt for something like recovery rate, but it is going to fluctuate anyways based on how much damage you deal, so it's better to go with immune to guard break if you can roll those 3 stats together. As far as the ISO 8 set goes, again, I don't see the need for Jean Grey currently to be an offensive threat more than she already is with her base damage and her base buffs and debuffs. For that reason, I have to recommend a defensive ISO 8 set. There is the possibility that in the future, Jean Grey will be needed for an upcoming, Stage 40 of Shadowlands, or Extreme, Super Extreme Alliance Battle Extreme with 3 X's. I don't know. But in the meantime, go defensive, go PvP oriented, Alliance Conquest oriented if you have this character, I think, unless you're competing for character rankings. If you're competing for the #1 Jean Grey on the list, then you're going to have to roll for one of the main offensive sets because they give you more points per ISO. If you look at the top players on this list, you will notice that they have things like Overdrive or Power of Angry Hulk, but I don't think those are the best sets for Jean Grey. In lieu of that, the best set to go with would be an HP bubble, because you're stacking HP on her Urus, you're going to stack HP on her gear. You want to give her a bubble to give her even more health when she's not invincible or when she's not time freezing or in an iframe. So you want to either go for binary power or at the bottom, drastic density. I do think binary power is better because it stacks more defensive stats, but if you want a little bit of a damage boost, you can go with drastic density. As far as her skill rotation, because I didn't talk about it before, there's a couple of different things you can do, but I would say the best beginning skill to start with is either the 3rd skill or the 5th skill, and I'll explain why each one is better, can be better in certain situations to start with. The 5th skill is very strong to start with because obviously it boosts her attack, but more importantly, it gives her that chance to penetrate. So if you're coming up against an Odin who has his shield up, or a Doctor Strange who has Sorcerer Supreme active, you want to start with the 5th skill to give you that penetrate chance, and then you can even skill cancel it into something else. However, if you've already taken damage, or if you need guard break immunity on super armor for the 3rd skill, then you want to start with the 3rd skill to have that up and running and get that heal proc. So you either start with the 5 or you start with the 3. Then I would move after that into the other skill, so I would do either 3-5 or 5-3. Then move into the 4th skill, which is a huge iframe, and then finish with the 2nd skill, which is going to give you that time freeze. You don't really need the 1st skill. The damage is not fantastic. There's a slight iframe, but it's really not all that special. You can honestly skip the 1st skill. Her skill cooldown, or the cooldown on her skills, is already so low. You can see 12 seconds here. 25 is kind of high, but the rest are very low. 12 seconds, 15 seconds. So you can rotate through those 4 skills very, very quickly. Just as an added point of view, guys, I did mention get guard break immunity on her Obelisk. The reason why I did that is because when Bond of Destiny is not up, you can't rely always on that super armor, and it's only there for 1 second. So you might be confused, but Jean Grey gets super armor. Why did Cynicalex tell us to get guard break immune on the Obelisk? It doesn't last that long, 1 second. And when you don't trigger the skill, or when it's in Alliance Conquest and she doesn't prioritize this 3rd skill, you still want her to have that guard break immunity if you can roll it and get lucky with that. As far as getting Jean Grey, I think you guys all know it's absolutely brutal. You have to go into the Epic Quest, you have to go to the Rebirth of the Phoenix, and you have to tier 2 5 different X-Men. You have to tier 2 Wolverine, Magneto, Storm, Rogue, and Cyclops. So everybody but Beast needs to be tier 2 before you can unlock Jean Grey at 1 star. And then you have to feed her bios, feathers, motorcycles, and crystals to get her to this stage, and then you probably have to sacrifice an arm, a leg, your couch, and maybe the mortgage on your home to afford everything for her. That being said, I do think that Jean Grey is a beast. I do think that Jean Grey is one of the top 3 PvP characters in this game. She might be the best overall, even on auto. We've already seen videos from other content creators about Jean Grey soloing content that was otherwise unsoloable on auto, like 12-8. So she does have a very unique and powerful combination of skills that make her uniquely fitted to do pretty much anything in the game. In addition, her tier 2 passive gives her protection against Dormammu, which I didn't even mention previously, but it is worth mentioning. If you're thinking of countering Jean Grey with Dormammu, it's not really going to work. But we will make a video later on about ways to counter Jean Grey in PvP, especially in Timeline. I know you guys are all itching to know about that because of the restrictions on Timeline and because of the fact that we're seeing, thank you for the promotion, we're seeing more and more characters or people creeping up with Jean Greys on their character list that you might have to fight against when you search for opponents, especially in Vibranium. So we will be making one of those videos, but if there is another kind of video that you guys are looking forward to about Jean Grey or about some of the other X-Men besides a Beast review, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what else you want to see. I will be cooking up that counter PvP video very soon. I'm still doing research on it. But in the meantime, guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.